Thank you for being here. This is an important meeting just because I need all of you to know what to do in case of a fire. So I'm going to go through the information that is related to Kingdom Kids, not necessarily the church as a whole. So this is just specific to Kingdom Kids so that by the end of this meeting you have information, you know the evacuation routes, and you know how to get your kids out of the building safely in the event of a fire. We have done 2 mock fire drills already. We've done one with the downstairs classes, and we've done them with the upstairs nurseries and the toddler room. Those went well, so I'm going to go over some information with you, and then at the end, if we have time and you have questions, I will try to address them. Some of those might be questions that you would want to take directly to the security team that I wouldn't be able to answer. But this is the information that we've come up with. Nothing really has changed even after we did the mock fire drills except for a couple of things. So this is more of an information meeting, not a meeting to discuss options. This is pretty much what we've come up with, and I want you to be able to know what you're doing on a Sunday morning, just in case this would happen. Hopefully it never does, but if it does, then we're informed. So instructions for leaders, preschool through 5th grade leaders, what you need to do is take attendance immediately as children arrive to class. So I know sometimes we might wait a little bit. It's important to do this as quickly as possible as kids are checking in. And that would be for the downstairs classes. As far as the nursery and the toddler leaders, please make sure that parents have signed in on the paper, the attendance sheet paper that is in each room. And then what I want you to do also is to double check to make sure that kids haven't been missed. Every so often a parent will come in, it's a busy morning, they'll drop their kids off and they don't sign that paper. I need you as leaders to double check that paper and mark anyone who may have been missed, because it's going to be really important to have an accurate list of all of the kids in the classrooms. As far as nursery and toddlers also, please make a note if a child has been returned to a parent. So let's say they're having a rough morning and they don't stay in the nursery or the toddler room, and you either page or text the parent to come get them. Please mark that on the attendance sheet so that in the event of a fire, you know that that child has been returned to the parent, and then you're not worrying about whether that child was actually in the class and is accounted for. And these next 2 are very basic, but I'm gonna remind you of those anyway. Please remain calm in the event of a fire, and please exit quickly and quietly. So those are 2 major things to think about. The remaining calm part really has an effect on the kids. So if you're a little stressed out or freaking out, they're probably gonna do the same thing. If you're calm and you're following the directions and you're leading them, they're probably going to remain calm too. So the procedure for the downstairs Kingdom Kids room, so this would be preschool through 5th grade downstairs, and then I'm going to move on to the upstairs nurseries and the toddler room. The hall monitor will verbally notify each downstairs classroom if there is a fire. He will also do this in the event of a mock fire drill. We are working on a few of the details about that. Originally, the plan was just to have the hall monitor come to each classroom and notify them verbally. There might be another option that we wind up doing, but for now, that's how that's going to be handled. If the fire starts downstairs, the hall monitor will report through his radio to the safety team upstairs. So there's going to be communication between the downstairs rooms and the upstairs rooms. One leader in the classroom will take the attendance clipboard, a pen, and if you've noticed, we have red and green laminated sheets that are on each of the clipboards, and that's in all of the rooms, all of the Kingdom Kids rooms, nurseries, toddler, and the downstairs rooms, and I'll talk about the purpose of those in a little bit. So you want to make sure you're taking the clipboard that has the attendance sheet, a pen, and those red and green papers that are attached to the clipboard. Teachers and helpers will lead preschool and K-1 children out of the room using a walking rope. So we did do this. It worked really well. It's just a colorful rope that has like rubber hoops on it. And one adult will be at the beginning of the line and one adult will be at the end of the line. Children should hold on to the hoop, but please make sure they're not putting their hands through the hoop, because we found when we did the mock drill that if their hands are through it and somebody walks and kind of jerks, then the rest of the kids go flying with them. So just please make sure they're holding onto it and not putting their hands through it. This will get them out quickly and safely. There are enough hoops that if you have a large class, 2 can hold on to a hoop, maybe 1 on each side. 2nd and 3rd and 4th and 5th grade, they may hold hands or they can walk in a single file, whatever you feel works well, with 1 adult leader at the beginning of the line and again 1 adult at the end of the line. So in each room there is an evacuation chart, and I want you to follow that, but I'm going to specifically tell you where your classes will go. But if you need to refer to that, it's in each of the rooms. And after the meeting, I will send you these notes, and I will also send you the evacuation route chart that will be in the classrooms. So the evacuation chart for all of the classrooms downstairs, it has preschool through 5th grade classes walking toward the Kingdom Kids Resource Closet at the end of the hallway. So if you're in one of these rooms, you're going to walk to the back where that resource closet is. You're going to turn right, and you're going to exit the building through those 2 doors at the end of the hallway. And you're going to proceed up the ramp, and then you're going to congregate in the neighbor's yard to the left. And we have permission from the neighbors to be able to do that. So, I mean, at some point, if you would like to go outside and look at that so you're aware of where that is, that's fine. But again, walking down the hallway, out the double doors, up the ramp, turn left, and that first neighboring yard is where you will stand and wait with your kids. The second evacuation route is to go through the multi-purpose rooms. So it would be to come out of your classrooms, come through here, go through the youth room, up the steps, out into the parking lot, and you will be in the second traffic lane of the parking lot. So there'll be a traffic lane, there'll be cars, and then there's another traffic lane. You want to congregate with your class in that second traffic lane on the parking lot. Does that all make sense, and do you have any questions about that? Again, you can always go out and look if you're wondering what that looks like. The hall monitor has some extra responsibilities, and he is responsible to sweep the entire downstairs, including all rooms, bathrooms, and the elevator, to make sure that they're cleared, and also to make sure that the fire doors at the bottom of each stairwell are closed. So the hall monitor will be the last one out of the building downstairs, because you guys will already have been out. He's going to double check everything, sweep the building, and then he will meet you outside, either in the yard or in the second lane of traffic if it's upstairs. The hall monitor then reports to the safety personnel through his radio that the area is clear, and then he will exit the building, like I said, to meet everyone. Leaders will take attendance and make sure that all children and leaders are accounted for. So that's the importance of having that clipboard, having those red and green cards, and having a pen just to double check everything, make sure that all of the leaders that were in the room are present and all of the kids that were in the room are present. If all children and leaders are present, a leader will hold up a green card. So that's the purpose of the green card. You're going to want to hold that up. That lets everyone know that everyone in your room is accounted for. If a child or a leader is missing, a leader will hold up the red card. And then the hall monitor will communicate with the safety team to let them know that all children and leaders are accounted for, or if they're not, they're going to begin a coordinated effort to locate the missing person. So again, those are the important things as far as what you want to grab on your way out if there is a fire. Everything else you can kind of let go and forget about. Those are the things that you want to do because you want to get your kids and yourselves out of the building as quickly as possible. If the building is cleared by the fire department and declared safe, leaders and children will return to their designated classrooms. Again, we're going to wait and see what the fire department determines. We're going to be under their leadership once they arrive. Someone mentioned at the other meeting that maybe we will just end church depending on what has gone on, and that could also be a possibility. If the fire is active and we cannot return to the building, Everyone will wait for the fire department to give the go-ahead and instructions that it is safe to disperse. At that time, parents will be responsible to pick up their children from the Kingdom Kids meeting spots. So if we're still outside, that will be when the parents go pick up their kids from the yard over here or from the second lane of traffic in the parking lot. Parents are not allowed to come get their kids if they are notified of a fire drill. We want to eliminate any type of chaos and craziness and confusion, and as difficult as it may be, the parents have to trust that the leaders are going to be with their kids, and then once it's declared safe, they can go pick up their kids. They'll use the same sticker receipt that they would if we were inside the building. So does all of that make sense? Okay. So the procedure for the upstairs Kingdom Kids nurseries and the toddler room. A safety team member will notify each upstairs classroom if there is a fire. If the fire starts upstairs, a safety team member will report through his radio to the hall monitor downstairs. One leader will take the attendance clipboard, the pen, same thing as downstairs, the red and the green laminated papers when leaving the room. Younger nursery leaders who are in room 2 will place children in the evacuation cribs and take them out of the room with one leader at the front of the crib and one at the back of the crib. So we did our mock fire drill with a regular crib, and it was a little rocky. Those things aren't meant to move quickly. We now have evacuation cribs. They're smaller, they're narrower, so they will get out of the doorways more quickly. They have big wheels. They're actually meant for fire drills, and we will also use them if we need to for just the kids who would need a place to rest or to sleep in the nurseries. They're meant for both. Each crib can hold 6 babies or 6 children and up to 180 pounds. So we have at this point 5 evacuation cribs, and I think at this point that would be enough for the kids that are currently in the nurseries. They work well. If you haven't seen them already, they're in the younger nursery and the older nursery. Older nursery and toddler leaders will take children out of the room using a walking rope with one leader at the beginning of the line and one leader at the end of the line. Again, children should hold the hoop but not put their hands through it. The older nursery may also use the evacuation cribs if desired, because there are cribs in room 2, the younger nursery, and cribs in the older nursery. If there are some younger ones, or if you just feel like it's easier to put them in the crib, you may use that. You could use that and a walking rope. If it's a large group and you need to use 2 different things, you can do that. If they are walkers and you feel like you can get them out quickly and safely, they can use the rope only. Whatever you decide in that moment, you have those 2 options. Second service combined nursery leaders will take children out of the room, again using the evacuation cribs or a walking rope, because that is the combined babies on up through 2.5 years. The walking ropes will be at some point, right now they're on the counter, but I think at some point we're going to have them hanging in the room so they're easily accessible in the event of an emergency. Follow the evacuation chart, which has both nurseries and the toddler room, exiting through the main lobby doors, down the ramp to the right, and congregating in the second traffic lane at the back of the parking lot near the entrance on Rhoda Avenue. So if you're standing at the top of the steps looking down into the parking lot, this would be to your right. If you've noticed there's an entrance from Rhoda Avenue back there, you're going to be in the second lane of traffic but close to that entrance. And that is where we did the mock fire drill. Try to stay as close to the cars as possible that are parked. For the most part, I believe we will be out of the building before the fire department arrives, but just be careful if there would be any incoming fire evacuation vehicles coming in. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we will have been evacuated before they arrive, but if not, please just try to stay to the left and get quickly to that spot. The second evacuation route is to go past room 1 and the kitchen, exit at the kitchen entrance, go down the ramp, and congregate in the second traffic lane of the parking lot. So all of the upstairs nurseries and toddler rooms will be in the same traffic lane, just kind of starting in the back corner and then going across. Leaders will then take attendance and make sure that all children and leaders are accounted for. Again, very similar to what we do downstairs. If all children and leaders are present, a leader will hold up a green card. If a leader or child is missing, you will hold up a red card. A safety team member will communicate with other members to let them know that all children and leaders are accounted for, or to begin a coordinated effort to locate the missing person. And the same for downstairs as upstairs. If the building is cleared by the fire department and declared safe, leaders and children will return to their designated classrooms. If the fire is active and people cannot return to the building, everyone will wait for the fire department's instructions that it is safe to disperse. And at that time, that's when parents will come pick up their children at the designated Kingdom Kids spots. So any questions about any of that? Okay, last one, there were so many questions. So this is a quiet group that's, taking it all in. So again, that is the evacuation procedure. Just remember, most importantly, to remain calm, keep your kids calm. I don't foresee us, once we're evacuated, being outside of the building for a really long time. The fire department will be here, assess the situation, and probably be able to let us know quickly what is going to happen, and at that point we'll move forward with our procedures. So if there aren't any questions or comments, actually that was quick, you are free to go.